Situational awareness. It's not just for the super paranoid. What was that? Hey everyone, Mike with AAA Defense here. Thanks for joining me today. Before I get started, if you can, please just go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notifications, all that fun stuff, so that this video reaches as many people as I can get it to. So today I want to talk about situational awareness, and as you may have seen from the intro video, it is not just something for the super ultra paranoid. Before I got into the self-defense, martial arts, and progressing into the shooting sports and concealed carry, things like that, defensive shooting, I always looked at situational awareness as kind of a super alertness, hyper awareness kind of deal, where you're always paying attention to every little detail that's going on around you and ready to stop a threat at a moment's notice. Now, if you remember back to the movie with Matt Damon, what was it, the Bourne Identity. So something that always kind of stands out is that Jason Bourne kind of thing when someone says situational awareness. So that scene, I think it was the first movie, where he's in the restaurant with the girl, and he tells her, I can tell you how many people are in this room, and that guy over there at the bar is 250 pounds and can handle himself. I know the license plates of the 6 cars that are outside, all those things. And as I got into martial arts and defensive shooting, concealed carry, things like that, I realized that it's a really unhealthy way to live, and it's a really good way to burn yourself out. That kind of mindset and mentality just is not sustainable, and you just can't be on 100% of the time. Or like I said, you're gonna burn out. So please, if that is your mindset and your mentality, we need to adjust some things in your situational awareness. Now, we want to be alert and we want to pay attention. And when we do that, something that is easily identifiable is this is Jeff Cooper's color chart of awareness. So I'll throw it up on the screen so you guys can see what that looks like, and we'll go over it a little bit, not in great detail, but enough to keep you interested and wanting to learn more. So Jeff Cooper's color chart of awareness sits at white, yellow, orange, red, and sometimes black. I guess it just depends on who your instructor is, what video you're watching, where you're going. But let's break down and focus on the colors on there and what that means. So when I or you hear white, the color chart of awareness, and that's the majority of the people that are walking around every day, is they're living their life in that condition, white. And that is head in their phone from the moment they step out of their car and get into the grocery store, or leave the grocery store and get into their car. Their face is always in their phone. And if you have ever done that, or have ever paid attention to people that do that, there is no way they have any idea what's going on around them. Whether it's just getting hit by a car, or just something ridiculous that they could have avoided just by paying attention. So that condition white is not where we want to be But unfortunately, it is where a lot of people are in their daily lives. And if that's you, I would encourage you to please change that mindset. Um, Put the phone down when you're out in public and pay attention to the things that are going on around you. Now, again, not the super hyper awareness or hyper alertness, but we want to be in the next level, and that's condition yellow. Now, condition yellow is just having a sense of what is going on around you. And I like to call it just paying attention and being aware. You don't have to know the 6 license plates of every car that's around your car as you leave the parking lot, unless that's your thing. That's pretty cool. I don't have a mind that works that way. But I am going to pay attention to the things that stand out to me. Is the car next to mine significantly damaged, run down? Those are potential indicators of something that could progress. You know, is there a creepy person or persons standing in the shadows underneath a tree at night in a dark parking lot? Is there someone wearing a big hooded sweatshirt in the middle of 100-degree summer and pants? You know, those things are going to warrant my attention. So it's just kind of filtering out, you know, the things that require your attention, on top of if you have a family and you're going, you know, I always use the store because it's a pretty easy way to relate. You know, a lot of people go to the grocery store or doing that click list pickup thing, you know, but we always want to be in that condition yellow. Now, after that, after yellow, we have orange, and that condition orange is, you know, something has alerted our attention, right? We are doing a great job in condition yellow, and we notice, like, hey, there's a really creepy looking dude standing outside the door of the grocery store. It's 100 degrees out. He's wearing sweatpants and, you know, a big hoodie. Just, it looks weird. Now, that just might be how that person rolls. I don't know, but it stands out and it's going to warrant my attention. So when we shift from orange to red, is that, you know, again, we'll use the hoodie situation. That person decided to progress and approach us as we walk in. Could be a vagrant looking for money, could be someone strung out on something and wanting to stab us because they think that, you know, you have a unicorn coming out the side of your head and, you know, they need to cut it off you. Whatever screwed up thing that the drugs that they're on is making them think. We need to be ready to act. And red is where that action is going to happen. And then we move down and we have black. Now, black, as was explained to me, is that you are in the fight and something is going on. Or, as I've seen, it could be you've locked up. So you haven't properly trained yourself for these situations and something happens and you just don't know what to do. That person in, you know, the sweatsuit in 100-degree weather decided to pull a knife and come after you, and you just say, oh shit, I have no idea what to do, and you freeze. So that's not good. We don't want to be there. So be trained, be prepared, and work your color chart of awareness. And again, you know, you can look that up. There's a lot of information on there. Jeff Cooper is the man responsible for that chart. There is a lot of references out there, a lot of books out there. He was a phenomenal instructor. You know, look more into books by him and about him. So the other thing that I want to get into with situational awareness is the Otoloop. And if you haven't heard of the Otoloop before, again, do some research, do some homework, get some books, and look into it. But essentially, the Otoloop was designed by Colonel John Boyd, and this was something that was created for, I guess you could say, dogfighting. He kind of figured out a mental state and pattern to help him win air fights. And this was transitioned into the defensive world, the situational awareness world, and picked up on because it works, and it works really well. So when we get into the OODA loop, and I say OODA loop, I mean OODA: observe, orient, decide, and act. So that's your loop: observe, orient, decide, act. And we use this as instructors, defensive firearms practicers, concealed carriers, things of that sort. But criminals and carjackers and what have you, they use this as well. The difference is that they might not know what it's specifically called or what it means, that OODA loop, but they are using that OODA loop. And they're really good at victim selection. So, we'll use, say, the gas station, for example. It's, something that's happened to me, a vagrant or criminal or someone approaches you at the gas station, and maybe they want a couple bucks from you, maybe they want your wallet, maybe they're strung out and they want your life. I don't know. But what I do know is that I have enough friends, and I'm probably, not probably, I'm not interested in making a new friend at the gas station from the guy that is either looking for money or looking for murder or an assault or my phone or a wallet. I'm not interested in taking that chance. So when these criminals are targeting you, they're inadvertently, or maybe they know, they're using this OODA loop. They're going through the steps. So they are observing. If they are, let me go back. They're observing, right? So we're going to get in the first one. Observe. When something happens, you'll always hear the victim say, that person or those people came out of nowhere, right? I never saw it. One, it's because they're probably in condition white, right? They're not in condition yellow, paying attention to things that are going on around them. And two, that criminal was probably well hidden and observing and looking for their victim selection very carefully. Chances are they've done this before and they know how they could potentially get away with whatever it is that they're trying to do. So they're using that OODA loop. Observe. They're observing their victim. So by being in condition yellow, we're being a bad victim. We're paying attention to things that are going on around us. When we're passing by these people that might set off our creeper alarm, the hairs in the back of your neck that stick up. Pay attention to that. That's important. If something doesn't sit right with you, go somewhere else, or make sure that if it's a person, that they see you. If you walk by that person, make eye contact, strong eye contact. Now, don't mean mug them as you walk by. Give them a dirty look, and you want to fight. You don't want to needlessly escalate a situation, but you want that person to know that you see them. You're not in condition white. You're not staring at your phone. You're looking around and you're paying attention to the things that are going on around you. You see them. Chances are, with their mentality and their observation, you look like a poor victim and they don't want to pick you that day. So back to the OODA loop. So they've observed their victim. Maybe it's a 115-pound woman throwing all her groceries into her car while trying to manage kids. Observe, orient. They've oriented their attention to that specific person that they've selected as a victim, and they said, all right, I've decided to act. So now we're moving around in the circle. Observe, orient, decide, act. And now we're going to jump on that action, steal the purse, punch the person, whatever it is that the threat is going to commit. So for me, what I want you to do, what I want to do, what we want to do is we want to smash that OODA loop as soon as humanly possible. So that starts with the first contact. Actually, it starts with your condition, what condition that you're living in. That condition yellow is probably going to stop that just to begin with. But, say we're in condition yellow, they see us, we see them, and they're still going to decide that, they want to poke you to see what happens. So the OODA loop's engaged. So we're going to counter that OODA loop, and we are going to smash it immediately with a tape loop. So a lot of the times these people, they want to drop your guard, and they'll use this by saying, hey, what time is it? Those shoes are really nice. They're going to say something to you to distract you and to get you to not think about what their next action is going to be. But we know better. So we're going to come up with our own tape loop. Now, for me, what's been taught to me, and this is from Frank Sharp Jr., who may have gotten it from John Farnham. Frank Sharp Jr. teaches Fortress Defense Consultants, and all are phenomenal instructors, and I strongly encourage you to go seek out additional training in that direction as well. But for me, my tape loop is, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Now, it's not that toned down version of that. I'll put my hands in a passive defensive type of position. And for me, that's out here. So this is going to, keep my hand out here and let everyone around me, it's the universal symbol for stop, leave me alone, get away from me. And my tape loop is also going to be really loud. I'm going to yell it. I'm going to say it with as much force as I have. I'm sorry, I can't help you. And we're going to say that, for me, loud. That means you have to practice this. The first time you say this cannot be when something happens and you're all shaky and your adrenaline's going. You're like, I can't help you. Practice it with a friend, practice it in training, practice it with your instructor. Get good at this, because when you nail it, that person has decided to go do something else more times than not. They've seen, all right, now this person has yelled, put their hand out, a whole bunch of attention has been drawn, and I just don't want anything to do with this. I'm going to go find someone else that's living in condition white. I'm going to pick an easier target. And if they still decide to progress towards you, then that's going to be something that your training is going to have to kick in on and manage that situation, which is why I like to, one, keep my hand out to tell that person to stop, but two, this is also, a defensive position. So if that person or persons decides that they want to strike, you're already here. You're saying, stop, leave me alone, but you're also in a good position to fight from here. So all of this comes together. So, keep those things in mind. Practice your situational awareness skills. For me, with my kids, it started at a young age. And again, it's not this teaching of this hyper awareness. It's just pay attention to the things that are going on around you. When we were in the grocery store and the kids were in the car, I would play the I Spy game with them. you know, hey, can you guys spot everyone that's wearing a Chicago Blackhawks hat, or just something, you know, spot something that seems out of place to me. Again, 100-degree weather. Hey, that guy's wearing a coat. Yep, that's a little bit off. You know, practice those skills, and you know, make sure you're living life in that condition yellow. We don't want to be in white, and we definitely don't want to be living life in that orange and red, where our hyper awareness is just off the charts. We're at a 10. It's going to be a very stressful and, you know, just a really good way to burn yourself out. So don't do it. So again, you know, take a look at Jeff Cooper's color chart of awareness and Colonel John Boyd's Otoloop: observe, orient, decide, act, and you know, just get as much information as you can. Hopefully you can get out with me and we can go over this stuff in much greater detail on the range, where we're working out our tape loops and you know, getting some live fire drills going. So with that, stay situationally aware, not hyper aware, and I hope everybody stays safe, stays comfortable, stays confident, and keep training. Thank you.